Hey everybody, after that little break, we're back. So our last feature game is going to be a world. This is going to be a classic one. I have a feeling it's going to be Phil Aasen playing Agents of Black Sun versus Greg Shaw with They Have No Idea We're Coming. Right off the bat, that sounds like it's going to be a hard game for Greg.
Yeah, I'm. It's going to be a slog. Like, it's not going to be an easy match.
Mm-hmm.
So, and after watching that last game, slogged on time was real close. This will be interesting, as this one's got to be winning in.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the field and Team 5 versus New Allies. I don't think anybody else would have it any other way at this point.
No.
And then on the secondary stream, it is going to be Daniel Moore versus Drew Lichtenstein. And it is Drew playing Anakin Skywalker Saga versus Daniel Moore's Agents of Black Sun.
Ooh, that's
both of them
are be rough for Daniel.
Yeah.
But after watching him pull out that win with QMC when nothing went right, I'm not counting him out of anything.
Yeah.
So this one, I don't know. This doesn't feel like kind of feels like Phil's got an edge here.
Yeah. I played this matchup before. It is not a fun matchup for the No Idea player.
Yeah. It seems like it would be unpleasant. Like, you're going to be taking a bunch of damage. You're going to struggle to keep Luke alive on table. But I haven't played the match. I've definitely watched a few games with it, and No Idea's got some things they can do. Some of what they may end up kind of spreading on Coruscant at times.
And this one's important for Greg.
Phil's just reading the objective to make sure where he's at.
Yeah, and I know after they errata the No Idea objective, making it so that you can't deploy the Bright Hope, you can only get Corvettes or the Rogue One out of it. It really hurt the space package for this No Idea deck. And one of the things that, as the No Idea player in this matchup, you want to go take over their system. You want to get Coruscant, so that way you can start doing drains of 2 up there. But
yeah, and you also need to keep agents out of space.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let him have free drains. But it's not easy to go get him. Looks like Phil's got a couple Emperors in his opening hand and a bunch of red. So
yeah, that's a good point, MHT, on the last game that we saw.
Yeah.
Daniel was... And I don't think Daniel played slow. It was more along the lines of he just, unfortunately, oh my gosh, I love it already.
He's got the beef red sleeves going for Greg.
Yeah, no. Daniel had to think about what he wanted to do there a lot. Greg, first turn, open-handed, Fall of a Legend to pull himself the Weather Vane V. I love it.
I'm a fan, and we saw the flip side go get Caesar's Bounty. Fanfare for Caesar's Bounty, and now Phil's activating. I mean, I'm betting he's just going to sort of set up. Looks like he open-handed one of the Caesar Palace sites as well.
We're going to work on that, Matt.
I was going to say, you might get the Robbie or Chris signal going.
Yeah.
So it looks like Chris Werfs with the final buy.
That hurts my fantasy
to
team.
run it in. So,
But speaking of Matt Harrison Trainer, Matt is the current Champions League winner. He has agreed to come on to Hollow Theater this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys tune into that episode. It's going to be fun. We'll talk about his run in the Outer Rim League as well as in the Champions League itself.
that should be a entertaining time. I know, having commentated a few of the Champions League games, I definitely enjoyed watching that run, and especially that championship was pretty impressive to watch, and that finish was impressive. That Thrawn opening hand that I don't think Matt could have picked better 8 cards. Was pretty well done.
And there's the Emperor going down to the Imperial Palace for turn 1.
And he grabs Force Lightning. Did not grab a Vigo. He had one in deck because we saw it at the bottom. Like, he thought about it, Phil did. But
I mean, it looks like he grabbed the sight. He had the sight in his opening hand.
So. Yeah, he open-handed the sight, so
not
he
the
didn't
worst
need
thing,
the Vigo
but
to go get it, but like you kind of like the Vigo for.
I mean, with the Shizor's Bounty, and I mean, No Idea runs a lot of low-cost, low-ability characters. I think you're fine.
It'd be tough for No Idea on turn 1.
Yeah. I mean, Greg's getting 9
or 10 force. Yeah. 9's enough to drop, 3/2/2 guys though, and create some havoc if he's got them.
True. But he would have to have them. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, no, and he'd have to have not just have them, but make sure he killed Shizor.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, like I said, he would have to have 4 of them because he's got the Shizor's Bounty in his hand.
Yeah.
So, and then Phil also moves the Emperor over. And
which is no surprise. I mean, you want to get them moved over into the battlegrounds.
Yeah.
At some point, that's not really no real shock on that move.
Yeah, Phil's showing right now 2 points of damage, so putting a card back to peak.
Phil doing a decent amount of looking and shuffling.
And there's the beach.
Grabbing the beach, and that's a bunch of shiny locations and shiny cards coming out from Greg as the different donor rewards and play rewards from attending majors, playing in local tournament weekends, playing in the OCS. There's a lot of ways to get all these alt arts that the PC and the graphics design group does such an amazing job with.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or you just become good friends with Brian Fred.
I mean, I love Brian, but I think being friends with Brian means you lose your foils to him. It doesn't mean you get more foils. Like, Brian is, Brian is a bit of a collector, and he wants to have everything. And more power to him. Like,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, that is a, All right, so it looks like Phil's quietly observing, revealing Mara and Dr. E combo, which is sort of the... usually with AOBS, you see either Dr. E or Mithron.
Yeah.
It's just a... Who do we want to do?
Yeah. The way that Phil shuffles kind of just hurts me inside.
Yeah. It definitely does a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I'm never selling my cards again. Like, I'm not worried about them, but I really don't want to crease them up either. Like, and just risk doing something bad. So it looks like Greg does not want to take a crazy crazy risk. So he just goes into it, and I think Phil shadowed right at the end there. Just like he's not going to cause any damage, but he wanted to get that card in hand. So now I'm curious where we see Phil go.
I did like the fact that Greg went out and got General Dodonda to protect the Yavin 4 war room from any spies.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably only seeing Dr. Afra as a spy.
Dr. Afra, Probot, maybe
yeah,
a used 3PO.
Yeah. I don't know. I like that, but at the same side, I feel like that might not be the biggest problem spot for Greg. And
that's one of the ways that this deck, that AOBS can really hurt No Idea, is by going to that location is just draining for 2 all game.
Yeah.
Like they're going to
get some damage through.
Yeah, they'll get the damage through. They'll have the battlegrounds to keep Simple Tricks and Nonsense off the table. But
yeah, if he can get there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the thing. Looks like Greg started Insurrection, so he's not neighboring in there. So that might be the keep him in there. And or Sing to the core, and Mara as well, just going heavy.
To that way, keep it so that Greg can't go get Stardust and just simply move from the core. Yeah, that makes sense. And with Aura and Mara down there, that's really powerful.
Yeah, that puts Greg in a spot where he's got to come down with a lot of guys, because the first battle he's going to lose a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe not as many as you think, because they're all going to be pretty high defense value, but there's still going to be some activity. Greg throws out secret plans. So
okay, so Greg, Daniel, Amor, and Drew Lichtenstein are all 7-2 at this point.
Okay, so Daniel and Drew is definitely a win and in, because Daniel and Drew are playing both at 7-2, and then if Shaw wins, he's in. If Shaw loses, things get interesting.
Yeah. And like we said, if you want to watch the Daniel versus Drew game, it is currently being streamed on the our secondary channel of twitch.tv/JagTech. If you want to watch both, we do have the multi-Twitch going on right now. That one is multitwitch.tv/swccg.pc or swccgpc, and then /JagTech. Or all you have to do is just click onto the link that is posted in the chat, and you can watch both games at the same time and see who our top 2 finalists will be.
Bill's hand here has a whole lot of red. Like, I'm not loving the position he's in if Greg starts getting spicy. So,
I mean, how spicy can Greg get?
Yeah, I mean, it's No Idea. You kind of know what the spice that's coming is.
One Luke in the reserve deck.
And that might be all he's got. Like, that's part of where, you have to pack the Luke for Bring Him Before Me, either a Luke or a Leia. And you kind of want to do Luke because you like Leia using her text and such for Stardust.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke's kind of he's a solid throw on a, Farm by Virtual Luke. He's a solid throw in on the, as a pilot and just retrieve.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Greg getting spicy. Taidu coming down to the beach.
For one, and then grabbing that card off used, and there's Midge. Or not Midge.
Melshi.
Yeah. Midge is the underlying card, I think.
Correct. And one way to check out what the underlying cards of all RV card is to check out the Scomp link. Easiest way to access that is to either A, go to the forums and click at the top center of the page, or just to simply go to scump.starwarsccg.org, and that way you can search any of the cards you want. It's a great tool to build yourself decks, checking out, making sure what the underlying cards of all of our B cards are, and yeah, it's definitely one of the best tools that we've seen on the PC site in a long time.
Yeah, it's been, it's great for us to be able, oh, he's got Luke.
There's a Luke, yeah.
Got a Luke down, so he's flipping him back. He's going to make
go.
He's going to make some spice out of it. Let's see if
it slows Phil down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really agree too with the reverse search, being able to search what the
underlying card is.
Yeah.
I know as a returning player, that was one of the things when I wouldn't see deck lists, but like teammates would post just a picture of a deck from Gemp. Mm-hmm. And I definitely had a few times where I'm like, all right, well, I know it's an interrupt. And I know what the picture is, so I guess I'm going to pull up Gemp and just look for interrupts from that side until I find the picture that matches. And yeah, that's a little frustrating, but it's tough to... But we have a limited number of slicers and volunteers to work on all these projects, which is a great way to throw in a little shout out as far as the PC is always looking for volunteers. Whatever you can do to improve the game, we'd love you to do it and offer it. It's a great way to help keep the game going and keep everyone, allow us to all keep having fun and playing cards together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Leia's resistance transport as well, and then Ray coming down.
Looks like they want Rain as well, just to keep things.
Jaron Webb.
Greg's just Greg's protecting Luke pretty effectively there, and especially with Phil really not having much in the way of characters.
Yeah.
Like he's going to shout out, he knows what was there.
Bay's coming down. Now that Greg has both space and a site occupied, he's going to be draining for free. Phil's going to have to pay for the damage, and the thing is, Phil's not doing a lot when it comes down to damage.
And I don't think Phil... There's a Stardust to ping one. I don't think Phil wants to leave the core. Like, you don't want to give up that easy access to Stardust. So, gosh, that just feels... I don't love the position Phil's in right now. I'd like to see him do something more here.
Agree.
But I'm not sure what the more he can do is. Like, I'll fully admit to that, but like he's not in a great spot.
Yeah. And the other thing, Greg is now flipped, so he can protect some of his troopers. The only person he really can't protect right now is Luke.
Yeah, and the issue is, like, Phil can't just move over in front of Luke because then Greg's just going to move away, grab Stardust, and start doing more damage.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not going to be able to move in and get to Luke. So he's got to kind of figure out a way to deploy onto Luke or get more damage rolling.
Yeah.
Without that, like, this would be the spot where, if he's got the space, and I don't think he does, his hand was almost all red.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like he's searching for the Vigo. All right.
Vigo. His name is Vigo.
Which is also his rank. So.
And title.
Yep.
And this is the last round before our final confrontation. It will be both a.
There's the fist.
Yeah, I like this because now he's going to occupy for battle plan.
Yep. Well, he's got to get a
Just shuttle
like
up
Sun
the
Agent
Vigo.
up there. Yeah, I think he shuttles the Vigo up, and I don't love just the Vigo going up there. Like, I think that's the play, but
Yeah.
if Greg's got some space, this could get. If Greg has something like a Hanshu Falcon,
But Hunching the Falcon doesn't really do a lot.
they overpower.
They overpower, but the biggest downside about another downside about this no idea deck is it does not have the best destiny.
Yeah, no,
He's a lot of characters, and all those characters have low destiny values.
Yeah, that's definitely a downside that Greg's going to have to figure out a solution to.
Yeah, like I would love to see Greg get out Commander Willard so that way he can start putting cards back.
It looks like he's walkling for something. I'm assuming projection. Oh, Unita.
No, Unita. We see that he's got a Grimtosh in his hand, and looks like Phil's got quite the hand. Like he's got Grimtosh
and
the lost pile.
Phil's also shield busted. Phil's got all 4 in play.
Yeah.
So he would not be able to protect his hand in that case, as Phil finally drew into some characters, it looked like, although at least one of them was an Aura who's already on table. So he's draining, also draining for 0 with Dodana just to turn the Weather Vane, which I love as a
Why not
play. Yeah,
like just keep turning that thing as much as you can.
Yep, that's a fun way to keep it rolling.
Yeah.
So,
the only way that Phil can turn it back is just by battling. So,
yeah, and I don't know that Phil's going to be starting that many battles. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think Greg's going to put himself in a position to be battled into particularly.
Yeah, looks like Joe's walking around again.
Joe might have finished up his game quickly. He might have also just conceded it and called it a day because he was playing against Ryan Jelson. So it's possible he just called it a game here and called it.
Why would you want to do that when you have if you're following along at home with the squadron assignments game? It was really close going after yesterday.
It definitely was. It looked like those were really well balanced and really fun. It also looked like B. Fred's team was not in the lead, which I'm sure just is scouring how he can figure out how to get those foils from the winning team.
The only bad thing is it looked like 2 of the teams had people that dropped. Jeff Levine and Matt Wadden both dropped. From the word from Chris Schothal is Jeff was not feeling well, so he went back home, and then Matt Wadden had a friend who he hadn't seen in a while. So Gold Squadron and Red Squadron both lost a pilot yesterday.
And that's a little unfortunate. I mean, I hope Jeff starts feeling better. I know, it's never fun to travel somewhere and get sick. And Matt, if he didn't think he was in range to win, Matt lives on the East Coast. He doesn't get to San Diego that often. Getting a chance to see somebody, I respect that. This is one of the joys of this game is I've developed friendships for people, all over the world, and definitely, when you're out traveling, getting a chance to see somebody who you don't normally see is good. So there is a Hanshu the Falcon up against the Fist. So the fist is immune to, I think it's less than 8. So he's probably not trying to. Yeah, immune to less than 8. So he's probably not really trying to crack the immunity. It's just going to have a lot of power up there.
Yeah, you have the power from the fist because the Vigo doesn't add. And I want to say the fist.
Yeah, so it's a 6. The fist is a 6. So it's 6 plus Destiny to Greg at 6 plus 2 Destiny, effectively. Their Destiny power and
8 to plus
Oh,
6
yeah.
in the power. So yeah. No, going with the Hunching the Falcon there is really good.
Oh, there's a couple of 1s though. And
yeah. And like I was saying, the Destiny is not high when it comes to this deck.
yeah. Oh, and he's just losing HCF to cover. It looks like he might have reacted with Greedo there. Am I missing? What's that? It looks like it's got a pilot icon. Greedo doesn't have one of those.
Yeah.
What is that card
fist
sitting
has
on the fist?
The fist has the ability of 4.
Yeah. Oh no, I know how he got. It looks like he react. I know he got the ability to draw either way. It's just who do you react onto the fist with?
Yeah, and Greg ended up losing the Hunching the Falcon.
Yeah, it was Greedo. Okay. That's the downside of the camera. We really need better zoom cameras. I think we need the ability.
What we need is just the ability to click on the cards.
I agree. If you feel like volunteering and have the slicing ability to do that, frankly, you should go be a zillionaire somewhere else. But after you go do that, come in and sort that out. So on our live streams, as we're going to have live streaming coverage like this at Nationals, we're going to have it at the Indoor Grand Prix. We'll have it again at Worlds. Like, this would help.
You're not wrong.
So, don't think that battle went the way Greg really wanted it to go.
No.
So, losing.
And then he lost
losing Hunter and the Falcon, which I think was smart. Like, I think he lost it to the attrition. I don't think he was necessarily behind much, if anything, in power.
Mm-hmm.
He was behind a little bit because the fist drew a 5, so then they were at 11.
So 11 to 10.
To 10, but with those 1s sitting up there, did you want Phil to suddenly drop 3 or 4 pilots and suddenly make this end really badly?
Yeah, and he has Bangus Keeg, who draws them the top part of his reserve deck. So,
and I think that's probably all he'll put up there. I think that's a solid drop. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see him shuttle, as that's a Dengar with gun going into Stardust as well. I wouldn't be surprised here if he shuttles Greedo down to the sewer and then moves Shizar over there.
You can't shuttle Greedo down to the sewer.
Oh, is the sewer interior?
It is.
All right, fine.
It's not one of those exposed exterior sewers that you find, but it's a underground sewer.
Okay. So he shuttles him down with
Palpatine.
With Palpatine, which
don't hate it. I mean,
it's fine.
Yeah, Phil right now is doing 5 points of damage. Greg's doing 3. And Greg's not really retrieving just because Luke isn't up in space.
And actually, Greedo should have shuttled down there for free. Black Sun agents moved to Shizar's Palace for free. So that was, I think they both missed that, and all it changes is 1 force used. By the time we figured it out, it's not worth resetting game state, as we see a couple more drains to turn the weather vane. I actually really like the additional weather vane in there.
Yes.
I think that's a card that started to see play kind of right around Worlds. I know, I played a deck with weather vane, although it wasn't a very good deck. And I saw some other decks running it. The Get Back Anyone card is really good.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like they might be moving back the 1 force. Yep, Robbie heard us. say, hey, that shuttle down should have been free. And yeah.
Yeah, it's too late, unfortunately.
So yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying, is by the time we figured it out, they'd reset everything, and it wasn't impactful enough to say, hey, let's reset all this to give you back one force. And Greg's searching for something. I'm wondering what. All right, so he's revealing some decent destinies in there, but I mean, it's.
And then, I mean, Jin Urso's in there. I mean, I would love to have seen her. That way you can block one of the drains, but like I said,
or the other projection. I mean,
yeah, projection would have been good.
I think Phil's playing this as, pretty well. Like this is all he can do, is keep him off Stardust, keep the damage train running as much as he can. The being able to hold Coruscant is big.
Agreed.
That one is helping him significantly. I think I would have liked him to move Shizor over to the sewer just to. He wanted that one damage. I don't think there's any big benefit in Shizor staying at the palace.
Yeah.
Or not at the palace. I guess, you know what? That's a drain plus one anyways.
No, yeah, because of...
because there's a Black Sun agent there, so it's a drain of one.
Yeah, it's a drain plus one, but now... Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And so this is what No Idea can do, is go to the Coruscant non-battlegrounds and start trying to push damage on that side. So Phil right now is doing 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg's doing a couple more than that. Well, 5.
Because Phil's
5 because he'll get
five
shadows. Yeah.
with the shadow. Greg right now is potentially doing a lot, being that Phil is shield broken. Like,
well, and what shield would Phil be playing here? Like resistance, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you would play the resistance shield because you cap that drain, only a drain of 2,
and we're doomed to suspend. I don't think there's any force loss to suspend. He paid 1, so I think it's searching with escape pod.
Yeah.
For something.
Grimtosh?
I don't think he retrieved that, did he?
I don't think he did either, so it has to be Zahojix.
Yeah. And I think Phil might have been legitimately thinking about grabbing that just because their destiny is bad, and keeping a 5 out of there is a solid thing. And especially if you can get Van den Willard going, looping that to cut those damage, cut any damage in half would be potentially good. Although I think all his damage sources are 1, so unless he gets R2 or 3PO out, those 1s stay at 1.
Just
if he wears Doomed, yeah.
Yeah, we're Doomed wouldn't be bad, but
when Phil gets the Shadows ping, start pushing some drains through.
Yeah, Sand, Bodhi, another Luke. Yeah,
that other Luke would be good if Phil had a way to go get the Luke that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, he's in a tough spot. And see, this is where that drain of 2 is. I think that's actually 3, isn't it? Imperial Square.
Yes, it's a drain plus 1 site.
Yeah, it's gonna
add up.
Yeah,
decent, not terrible Destiny. So the Visage of the Emperor is actually a V card. It is the V card Shadow of the Emperor. It's just the Visage of the Emperor's image on it.
Yep. It's it's a virtual interrupt that definitely, or a virtual effect that definitely helps keep Agents of the Black Sun competitive. Oh, there goes Boba Fett after the blaster controls, because remember, Greg used Unita to go get a barrier.
Yeah. Django.
So, Don't feel bad at all, Scrabble. That's you know, all of us miss some of that stuff, and
Checking out
that's
the
why we
Destiny.
ask and learn. Yep.
And Phil kept 4 Destiny in his reserve deck. So even if Greg was to just move it, he still is going to have Destiny. Greg does move it, and the Weather Vane does rotate.
Yep. Now, does he have some? Okay, so he doesn't have the hidden weapons. Like that would have been the super spicy.
Oh yes. I mean, Leia gets a Destiny.
Yeah, well, Leo's who you target, I think. Who's the other?
Sure, gets a Destiny.
Okay, if it's true, yeah, then I guess hidden weapons doesn't make a huge.
Yeah, that's how Greg moved a card off the top.
Ah, yes. So then it doesn't make any difference.
That is the AI of Shirut.
That's why I didn't recognize it right away. Even some of the, our graphics team does such great work with those AIs. Even some of them, I'm still getting used to some of them. Ooh, those are.
And I did not see what he drew. It
looked like a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, Probot, Dr. E combo, and I can't tell what the other one is, but it looked like the top card that he moved was an Emperor. So he was able to get the Destiny 6 card off the top. Yeah, it's a P59.
P59, I think. So it's going to be 7 or 8.
Yeah.
For Destiny. I mean, it's enough to... It'll take out both guys, but...
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, really his only goal. And then he's got to lose Django or Boba. Yeah, I feel like Boba's the right...
Yeah. Boba's the right play
there.
because you still have the Sword game text, so if you really need him, you can get him back.
Yep. Now, I think he's got to move Django. No, maybe not.
No.
I mean, yeah, you got to or move the Vigo down. You've got to put somebody with Django because you can't take... the whole deck is spies. You can't leave a guy at a non-battleground and just assume no idea, can't do anything. Phil's picking a couple up. All right, Zuckus and Hunter, who's not going to be impactful at all this game, and another red card. Is that a Iggy with gun? Ooh.
I mean, Greg is on the 7 side of his objective, so Iggy with gun isn't as powerful. I mean, yes, you would get an extra battle destiny if you put down somebody's ability 4.
Yeah,
but
and that might be all he's looking for.
Yeah, but now if you're Greg with Ara, Mara, Dengar, and Boba Fett either on the table or in the lost pile, do you really fear any of the characters that Phil could put on the table?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. So he's loses the blaster controls and replaces it with the Japanese one.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
I appreciate that.
It's a Brian Fred move if there ever was one.
I appreciate going with the artistic license. And Weathervane retrieving any one card, getting back, looks like Han Chewie and the Falcon.
Yeah.
So.
And he trains again with the Donda to keep it moving.
Yep. So Greg's not starting a battle this turn.
No.
He left himself no reserve deck. I don't know how many cards he's got left. It's looking real tight here. So, and while we've got it, do we have a result, Robbie, from the Drew?
Mm-mm. They are still going.
Okay.
But while we're in a turn where Greg isn't doing a lot, let's go ahead and give away another Dathomir AI. This one, I believe, let me double check and see if it was posted, the day 2 stuff. Yep, they were. Okay. What was what were the first player, first person in the chat who can correctly tell me what the top 2 decks that were played today were by numbers? Whoever can tell me those will win a AI Dathomir site. And Michael Stone is correct right off. Like I didn't even finish the question.
jumps right in there. So
Yeah.
congratulations on your AI Dathomir, Mike. Oh, looks like is Shaw thinking about moving in?
Looks like it.
That's aggressive. Oh, you know what? I think he used his control phase move to move in and grab Stardust and ping another force. I don't hate that. Like, if you're going to move in, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil's. There went Probot.
Yeah, because you get an extra point of damage with the Stardust ping there. I mean, you can't move out, but you still can ping.
Yeah, but if you're going to move in anyways,
You
moving.
can have a Hojix.
Well, or yeah, he could have gotten the Hujix and just be, hey, I'll block the drain for turn and do this. But it also could be, move in, take the ping, and then move the rest of your guys in.
Oh, the other thing is you put a
So I'm
card out of
assuming
play,
Shaw
which
has
helps.
to.
Okay.
That's is that the Rebel team?
Yeah, that's their Endor Commando team.
Yep.
Apparently, Mike Kessling is looking good against Connor Britton. Batmouse is looking good against his opponent, who is Mike Turner. So Batmouse making a nice little run on day 2.
Yeah, I mean, if that means Batmouse is coming in at 7-3, that's a solid. It's giving him a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So there, it sounds like there's a lot of folks rooting for Phil just to make it.
Yeah.
Put people in play, but Shaw's played this one pretty well so far.
Yeah, and from what Robbie is saying, both of those players would need Greg to lose to have a chance to get in.
Yep. Because then it'll put a whole pile up at 7-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see where it goes.
Yeah, and obviously the loser of the Drew versus Daniel Amore game would be live as well. So there's a lot riding on this Phil versus Greg game.
So now with the moving the pile into the core like that, does Phil battle in there, or does he move out to block the drain at 2 at the beach instead of 1?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Like, I think you have to move out, but I don't like the position he's in.
Phil or Greg?
Phil.
I do. I mean,
I think
just by
Greg's...
looking at the piles right now, it looks like Phil has like the bigger stack. I mean, Greg has lost a bunch of cards, and he's put a lot of cards on the table.
Yeah, but I think Greg's in a do more damage position, it feels like. I'm...
No.
Okay.
Right now, they're tied. Okay, so Phil has 16, and Phil right now is sitting slightly ahead
3
and
cards
on Greg's
more.
turn.
Yeah, but that's 3 cards more, and Greg's now got Stardust going.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, if he blocks that drain at the beach, Greg would still be only doing 3 points of damage.
Yeah, but how safe do you feel blocking that drain at the beach?
If you can go down with multiple characters, I mean, Baze is sitting in the data vault. It's Cassian, Luke, and Ensign Chad. So
which means you're canceling two shots.
Yeah.
Already, like it's...
And you're getting 4 shots.
Yeah.
And it's
potentially
not hard
5 because he's got the Iggy in hand.
Yeah.
Looks like he's cold feeding out a shield, so...
Yeah, and Iggy, I mean, if you can capture Luke with Iggy...
Whew. Yeah. If Phil can get rid of Luke, I like Phil's position a whole lot more.
Interesting.
I'm a little surprised by that. I don't
disagree with it.
I don't hate it. It honestly feels like he didn't think there was another shield that was going to be particularly impactful.
Yeah. I'll be right back, Garrett.
Okay. So I will do a little bit more of the live play-by-play while Dan goes to take care of whatever Dan needs to take care of. We got Phil activating a bit here, and there's a Where's Han to go pull Han Chewie and the Falcon, I'd assume, for Greg, which is a card. It's a thing. It's going to make things interesting. And I think Greg was just sort of figuring out what else he wanted. What his destiny, what his deck was looking like. Phil activating all of it. So we won't see a battle this turn, which isn't a huge surprise, as I don't think he's in a good spot to start that battle. Let's see a couple drains going here, I'm assuming. Just sort of waiting for them to decide here. So there's Phil draining for 1/1 and 1, I'm assuming, up in space. Greg losing a barrier, no surprise. Throw me another chart. Or Where's Han? And Jyn Erso off the top, which is definitely the card I think he would have been happy to have. I don't think Greg's found Vanden Willard yet, which is definitely hurting his ability up. He's wackling to retrieve that Jyn right away. That might, I think he realizes, yeah, Jyn could end up being real important just to block a drain on the ground here. I think we're going to see Afra come down. I mean, not so 6 is Succus and Mist Hunter. All right, so he saw the Han Chewie Falcon pull and says, I don't really want you coming here. And I think that's a solid play. We're just keeping a lot of thought going into these last. I mean, they both know that if Shaw wins, he's in. If Phil wins, things get real spicy. And Phil going to grab Probot with Afra. Looks like no aim high in play. So he's just getting that free Probot into hand from Afra. Is he gonna... he thinking about here? He's got some force. Does he want to throw Probot down? I mean, he's got a bunch of force still. He's got Probot in hand. He's got IG-88 in hand. Like, he could start thinking about fun things, but I don't know what his win condition here is necessarily. Looks like he's just picking a couple up. Oh, no, that was the shadows. All right, so the shadows ping to, and Greg smartly just pitches away Han Chewie and the Falcon. He doesn't need it at this point. He's not going to Coruscant, and the fist can't move, so it's not going to Scarif, and you're just staring at each other there. It's like 4, so Probot's coming down somewhere. 5. That says Iggy. As Phil's just doing some math in his head and figuring out what he wants to deploy where. So IG-88 going down in front of Luke and Cassian. No escape to take back somebody. I missed who. P-59, all right. Not necessarily, Mike. So if Greg wins, he will be one of 2 8-2s, so he will make the top 2. If Greg loses, this gets real spicy as they're both 7-3, and there's a host of other 7-3s that will be playing. The winner of the other stream is making top 2, as the Drew and Daniel game, they are both at 8-2, or both at 7-2, so the winner will be 8-2. So Phil just moves everybody over. I don't love leaving Afra alone. Like, I think he's probably got a Gick, but Afra doesn't draw on her own. That's not a great... Doesn't feel like a great spot. But Greg might not have enough to actually take advantage of and do anything about it. So we'll see where this goes. As Greg activates and starts to ping. Oh yeah, there is a virtual decree, so yeah. So Afra's drawing if not able to otherwise, so he's fine. And it looks like Greg activates all of it anyways, so a lot of people threatening battles that aren't actually going to occur here. I think there's just a lot of activating and trying to find the right answer for what you're dealing with. So, drain at Scarif, drain at the vault. Flips Weatherbane to retrieve, looks like Cheer-It. And should be Stardust damage and probably one more drain with Dodana. Yeah, Phil's just confirming he lost 2. There's the Stardust. Yep. Getting a count. Looks like Phil's probably got 15-ish cards still down there. Trying to avoid a bunch of silence because Dan's really the best at keeping that up, and I'm more the color commentator guy, but we're keeping things going. Yeah, Greg's behind a little bit. I mean, Greg's still a couple cards behind, but it feels only having 11 force to work with feels tough when you've got to deploy a lot of things to be impactful. Like, there's no idea doesn't have a lot of one-out cards that are really solid impact plays. Looks like we're doing the move a guy trick to move Melshi and Stardust to the beach. Not... I guess if you're not moving away, you've just got to move some guys there, but there's Vanden Willard finally, which I think is Greg's been looking for him for a while. That should allow Greg to maybe start thinning his, not necessarily thinning his deck out, but getting better Destiny floating in there because his characters are tough. So Greg leaving just Vanden Willard and Tau sitting in there. I think he's got to move Luke back over. But we know Phil's got P59. And I want to read no idea. Double check before I say anything. Yeah, so he can't use no idea to stop P59 from targeting Luke. And that means Luke's kind of sitting there. Well, apparently Phil's not going for that either, as he activates all of it. Welcome back, Dan.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. We're kind of been a lot of moving around and staring at each other. Phil dropped Afra, got back Probot, dropped P59, moved everyone to the beach, or not P50, dropped IG88, moved everyone to the beach, and then Noah escaped to get back P59, but activated all of it. I was kind of thinking he might try and go P59 into Pop Luke and take a shot at it, especially as the other Luke's gone and so is Walkling. Like, I'm not sure Greg has a way to get Luke back, but if he didn't have a Gick, that was a pretty high risk play. So 4 for a Probot to the author, the home one docking bay, which I like just as
Get some more damage in.
it's a point of damage. Like,
Yeah.
Quick update for you guys. Daniel has beaten Drew and has secured a spot
Wow.
in
wow,
the final
Daniel
confrontation.
is
On
so
fire.
So
Daniel defeating Drew to make the top 2, and I think it was AOBS versus Saga.
Yeah.
So he was on kind of the wrong side of that matchup. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too going in.
I was not expecting that to happen. Well done, Daniel. That's
Yeah.
a heck of a showing coming
Heisenberg,
out
I mean,
there.
he's been a player for a while, but this is like, I want to say this is his official coming out party in regards to doing well at an event.
Yeah, this is definitely a coming out and rolling hard into doing real well. I mean, making top 2, this field, it's a small field. I mean, there was only 25 players here, but that was a stacked 25 players.
And I mean, looking at who he recently played, even on today, it was very impressive. I mean, we just saw him play Cal Aldred. Thank you. He beat Phil. Then he had to play against Drew. So they played now twice. I don't know who won that game though. Then he played against Cal Aldred. I'm assuming that Drew won the second game, but then he got his revenge in this one, which is very important. And Jared in the chat pointing out that Batmouse ranked Daniel Moore at like 50 or something in the Batmouse PC. Let me double check that.
Batmouse is a chef. All right, let's give him. Batmouse makes delicious food. Let's let him have that.
Food.
I mean, I don't actually know how delicious it is. I haven't had a chance to have it because I couldn't make it out there, and but we had Greg Shaw definitely add some FOMO as he, said that everything was amazing. He said the chicken was outstanding, and just definitely hurt a little bit as he showed his sunglasses and.
Daniel Moore was ranked 55th in the Gem PC. And he has to play against Kyle Kruger in this coming round.
Another update for you guys. Batmouse pulled out his game.
Okay, so Batmouse won his game, so he's one of the 7-3s who's got a chance if Phil can pull this out. So,
I mean, looking at the Life Force right now, Greg has around 8. Phil has what looks
Phil's
like
had a few more cards.
Yeah, I agree that Kieran was definitely underranked too, and I pointed that out very much to Batmouse.
I mean, but maybe so. Batmouse and
Batmouse was overranked.
Daniel are on the same team. Maybe Batmouse knew Daniel had this in him, but he needed to underrank him and get that fire going. Like maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. Batmouse needed to start a fire in him by underranking him and insulting him. So we'll see if that's the
definitely an insult.
We'll see if that's the case. Yeah, bulletin board material.
You are not wrong.
We make fun of Batmouse a lot on the bulletin board. Like, I'm not sure this would even move the needle. Sometimes.
Bill, are you saying that you picked Kieran to win over you?
Bill's busy designing bad cards now. He doesn't play. Kieran's going over him.
What did I?
So
Kevin Yacht won. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. You are not wrong.
All right, so there's a lot of moving parts right now as I think Greg's just trying to figure out who to move and protect. Like he doesn't necessarily want to. He's got to move Luke away just in case. Like you can't leave Luke there, since Luke can't be protected from the weapons. And Phil's gonna
do some damage here.
Yeah, I think Phil had just asked for a count before he activates to figure out exactly what he wants to do here. Because he's got to do some moving around too.
He's got to get rid of the
Kessling won
shooter.
his game.
What happened?
Mike Kessling won against Connor.
Okay, so Kessling over Connor. So now Kessling and Batmouse and Drew, frankly, are hoping for a Phil win here.
No, like Mike might be rooting for Greg as their teammates.
Good point. Mike and Kessling's definitely the sort to root on a teammate, so
Yeah.
he might be just rooting for Shaw to let it take it and put him into the finals.
But here's the real question. Like, we know that Daniel Moore is playing AOBS and
QMC.
QMC. You want to play against AOBS again if you're Greg?
I don't know. Like Greg is low on cards here.
Yeah.
And I think Phil's got a shadows to Yeah, Greg's got
like 6 left hand in life.
Yeah. 4 or 5 force and then a
You're not wrong, Mike.
Yeah. I mean you make it to the finals, you'll play whatever's in the finals because that's the goal. Like you put yourself in the finals, give yourself a chance to win. And who knows, the AOBS could be something that's, really teched and skewed to take down mains and no idea.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Could do better against it. I don't know. But like, who is Phil putting down right now? Okay. So Phil's got to throw someone during P59 into cheer it. So Tilly's maneuver and Phil grabs it.
Yeah, get a card away from Greg. Greg's at 5 force right now.
Gets the card away and gets away the looks like he just revealed.
Yeah.
Might have just been looking to see what his destiny was.
I mean, he could hit Shearet here.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure I think he's fine if he battles, just causing the, just kill him with attrition. Like, you don't even care.
Yeah. Oh, he cannot modify or cancel the weapon destiny. So that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was. Greg's like, well, that's unfortunate, and Greg's grabbing it. Again, another game where it went very late before anything.
Because the thing is, like, if Phil fires and hits, he can't cancel it with the objective. Oh, you're right. He can't. Yeah, you can't cancel the destiny, but you cancel the targeting. You're right.
Yeah. See, Bill, this is why no one likes you. You just correct us while you go design cards.
I like Bill, but his.
I actually like being corrected. That definitely is, how you learn and how you think of things. Like we were kind of talking earlier. Yeah. And he's activated a couple.
So this one.
Oh, your movie ended. So Greg activates a couple, uses Ben and Willard to get a specific card.
Yeah.
Drains with Weathervane, which will get him 1 back. But it's going to leave him with 6 force total. And Phil's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Like, this feels like Phil's.
Yeah. There's the handshake.
Greg just did the math as well. Phil wins, which makes things crazy for a second. He grabbed a projection
on the headset really quick. Oh,
Yeah, grabbing the projection didn't matter for math because
Yeah.
it's one less card if he plays it. Blocks a drain, but then he's only got 5 cards left, and Phil does 5 instead of 6. So
Yep.
that was outstanding. Yeah, if we can get Phil on the headset real quick, that'd be awesome.
Right.
If they're really wanting to figure out what the top 2 breakdown is and
Yeah, then we could just sit here and talk.
see if they can get things rolling, we can sit here and talk. Actually, I might let you sit and talk for a minute while I go refill my water bottle. So, been doing a lot of talking and
Yes, yeah.
not as much drinking as I really should have been doing. So,
Well, I mean, if you're going to be doing drinking, you should have been into your cookie butter liquor.
I already was this morning. Actually, my 17-year-old had practice this morning for lacrosse that she had to get up extra early for, and came home before Mom and I had woke up, and she made us breakfast and poured me a glass of cold brew coffee and spiked it with a pretty healthy dose of cookie butter.
There you go.
And I'm a fan.
We don't know, Kieran.
It's Daniel for sure, and then
yeah.
we're not sure. There's a bunch of 7 and 3s.
Yes, chaos has reigned supreme down here in San Diego.
Yeah, because we have Drew, Mike, Phil, and Batmouse all at 7 and 3 that I know of.
And Greg at 7 and 3 as well.
Yeah.
Like this is this one is
So
gonna be crazy.
yeah. Actually, Connor and Mike are actually not X3. They were 6 and 4.
Oh, okay.
So I guess there was a pair down that I missed. So only Connor had a chance. So right now it's Drew, Phil, Shaw, or Dennis.
Okay.
Dennis. Okay. No Batmouse.
So
Batmouse should have a shot as well, although Batmouse may be low enough on strength of schedule.
no, it has.
You won the first game or the second game? Oh, we got that one.
Yeah, Batmouse is showing us 6 and 4.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, why don't we take a couple minute break and let this all get sorted out before we come back with the
I'll tell you which one.
before we come back with the top 2 and 2-game match play to finish it off.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. So we'll be back in a few. Everybody, get yourself some water, get yourself a snack, and come back for what's got to be an entertaining final. Okay, everybody. Looks like we do have a. The top 8 is going to be here announced.
If you want to play with a cube, please come sign up with me.
How many games is the cube?
We're gonna draft both sides and play 2.
Robbie, as soon as you're ready, let us
Yeah,
know what the
I'm
top
gonna
8
We're not
is.
gonna start the
announce
cube
it
right now. I just
right
wanna
now
know how
with
many
you.
people are playing.
Once I can see the standings again.
Uh,
So
Go
in
backwards.
in eighth place, we have Mike Kessler at 6-4. In 7th place, we have Casey Annis with 6-4. In 6th place, we have Connor Britton, 6-4. In 5th place, we have Dennis Reinhardt with 7-3. In 4th place, we have Phil Aasen with 7-3. In 3rd place, we have Greg Shaw. And our top 2 are Daniel and Drew.
Wow.
So that
So
is
that's
our top 8, and that is our top 2. So we will be starting the final confrontation here in a few minutes. We'll jump back on and let you guys know when we
Okay,
do.
sounds great. So the top 8 has been announced. And yeah, the top 2 are set. It is going to be Daniel Amore versus Drew Lichtenstein in the finals. So we'll get back to the action here in a little bit. And then once we are, yeah, we'll have an exciting final conclusion for today for the San Diego Super Open. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.